Welcome to another episode of the Rhythm of the Road podcast. This podcast is not just about the journey, but also about the growth, transformation, and self-discovery that comes with life on the proverbial road. Grab a cup of joe, buckle up, and let's embark on a journey of self-discovery, creativity, and entrepreneurship. Let's get rolling.
And here we are on another episode of Rhythm of the Road podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking a small part of your day to just take it all in and listen, which works out well because today I want to talk about something I say so often. I think it just applies across everything you do and no matter where you are. And just sometimes people forget, and it's just simple math. And that is, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You're literally listening. And I want you to just not just listen, but I want you to hear. And I think that there's a small difference between those two. Like, we might listen to something, we might listen to music, we might listen to a conversation, we might listen to the noise that's in the background, but are you actually hearing? And that's what I would like you to focus on a little bit with those 2 ears and 1 mouth is like, listen to hear and actually hear what's going on, actually hear what's happening around you, actually hear that conversation, actually hear that piece of music that might help your day. And then as you're hearing, you can hear and listen, and then you can respond. Sometimes in conversations, people forget that it's supposed to be active and we're supposed to listen and respond, or listen to respond, not necessarily listen and respond already. And sometimes when I talk about the difference between listening and hearing, I feel like sometimes the listening is us listening for the how we want to answer, versus if you're hearing what they're saying, you're able to take it all in and then respond. So think about that subtle difference. Like, even as I'm asking you a question, are you listening? Are you internalizing or processing in your brain right away that what you're going to respond with? Or did you actually wait till I got all the way to the end of a question or a statement before you started formulating that answer or response so that you could respond? And so if we're listening twice as much because we have 2 ears, and speaking half as much because we have just the 1 mouth, how could that change the course or even the trajectory of your day if you were just listening twice as much and speaking half as much? I challenge you today. That's your challenge today. Go try it. See what happens. See if you are uncomfortable or the people you're talking to are uncomfortable. I'm curious to know which way it feels for you. I know that many people around me sometimes get uncomfortable because I listen. I probably listen 4 to 10 times as much as I speak. Maybe that's the introvert in me, or the extroverted introvert. Some people like to say, because I can exhibit that energy when I need it. But let's face it, I'm a listener, and that's what I do best, whether it's behind the drums, because that's what I need to do all of the time. I need to listen twice as hard and twice as good as everyone, because I need to respond and support everyone around me. It's no different when I'm working with clients. I need to be listening twice as much as they're confiding in me, asking me for guidance or mentorship, or helping them with a task. Like, if I'm not listening and then responding and listening to hear them rather than just listening because I hear somebody talking, they're not going to get the right information. They're not going to get what they need. My bandmates might not get what they need because I'm just listening as a passive listener and just letting it go by. Versus if I can be active and intentional and actually hear them, we can respond and have a pretty in-depth conversation that goes probably 2 or 3 levels deeper than what you could have anticipated if you were just assuming or curating answers as you're going rather than just listening for that moment. So try that today. Let me know what you think. Let me know how it felt. I'm really curious about that, because when people try this for the first time, it tends to be a little bit uncomfortable, or you get into a space where you're like, should I even be responding, or am I listening? And then automatically you're automatically not listening. So Think about that as you go through your day. Hit me up in the comments. I want to know what you're going through. I want to know how it felt. And then maybe there's something we can expand on here. So let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again for listening to Rhythm of the Road podcast. If you like what you heard, if you think it could help someone else, or someone else definitely needs to hear this message today, make sure you share it. Like, subscribe, make sure you follow, and have an amazing day. And I'll see you down the road.
Thanks for cruising with me on this episode of Rhythm of the Road. Remember, the journey itself is the destination. Until next time, keep the rhythm flowing, and we'll see you down the road.